Okay, so it's being recorded from now on. Okay, guys, so welcome everybody again. Before we start, I just want to say that this webinar has been organized by the Weekly Fasting Group. It's a group of individuals, a virtual group on WhatsApp, and we cultivate the habit of fasting once a week for 24 hours. And there are also some people who extend it. But our standard fast is 24 hours a week on a consistent basis. So the key word here is consistency, week after week after week. And in between, we also discuss in the group, in the chat, different subjects related to spirituality, cleansing, fasting, self-development, and other things. And we also organize those webinars. So if you're watching this video afterwards, and if those ideas appeal to you, you will find my phone number. My name is Arik, and I am the moderator of this group. You are welcome to send me a WhatsApp message with your name, and I'm happily gonna add you there. So that's about that. And today we have Sinclair. Yeah, that's how you pronounce your name, Sinclair?
Yeah, Sinclair.
Sinclair.
Yep.
He's coming to us originally from Australia, but now he's in Costa Rica. And we are going to cover quite a lot of subjects related to fasting, detox, and other things. But first of all, Sinclair, please tell us a little bit about yourself. What brought you on this path of helping yourself, helping others, just whatever you want to share in this realm.
Yeah. Thank you, Arik, and thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Sure.
I guess for me, it all started, like for most of us, with my own health problems. And, you know, I was 20 years of age, but up until that point, I'd pretty much I didn't have any regard for my health. I ate what I wanted. I played lots of sport. I started partying when I was 15, and I was taking recreational drugs, and I was drinking a lot of alcohol, and I was just enjoying my life. And I didn't really have any idea about the concept of what health was. So, you know, naturally I got to 20, and all of a sudden I started having some health problems, and my skin broke out. I started to get injured a lot with football, and I was like on the cusp of playing professional rugby. And then I got this debilitating, or like a bulging disc. And that was pretty much it for me. I had to hang up the boots and figure out, you know, how can I fix myself? And that was the journey. That's where it all began. And for me, the very first path that I went on was actually paleo. So it wasn't fasting, it wasn't detox at all. It was shifting into like an animal-based diet. And I spent 8 years doing that. And I was carnivore for a little bit, and I was like grass-fed and pasture-raised. And I went right into that. And it was at the age of about 28. I wasn't really getting any better. I was big and strong, because I was eating tons of meat and I was training a lot, but my body just hadn't shown really any signs of improvement. And I went on this retreat with a man named Tyler Tolman in Bali, and he started talking about detoxification. And he was talking about, it's not what you put in, it's what you get out. And that was a totally new concept to me. And he was talking about how when you're actually detoxing, now you're actually getting rid of the cause of the problem. So fasting, he taught me about fasting as well. And he was telling me about how animals in nature fast when they get sick, and they do this intuitively. And I thought, there's been times in my life when I've gotten sick and I've just lost my appetite and I haven't eaten for days on end. And, you know, mum and dad are trying to give you toast, and we had Vegemite toast down in Australia, which I love, it's delicious, but, or like chicken soup and stuff like that. And, you know, and it just goes against everything your body actually wants. Your body just wants rest. All it wants is time away from food so it can heal. So I heard about this fasting, and I just went, right, that's it. Like I'm diving into that straight away. And 3 months later, I had an opportunity to fast, and I went to Mexico to renew my work visa because I was living in the US. And I planned on doing a 7-day fast. And after 7 days, all my paperwork got stalled a little, so I could fast. I kept fasting. And I got to day 10, and by day 10, all my pain had gone away. All my skin had cleared up. I lost a lot of weight, but all the issues that I've been trying to fix for 8 years went away in 10 days. And
Wow.
I was convinced at that point. I said, all right, this is it. Like, this is my new path, you know. And by that stage, when I went to Bali, I turned vegan, plant-based. But it was fasting that really set me on the path of healing. And then I discovered Dr. Robert Morse. Well, actually, let me backtrack. I broke that fast terribly, by the way. Broke it with an almond cake, broke it with fruit, and then an almond cake. And I honestly was in so much pain. And I thought, what have I done? I'm in Mexico by myself. Like, I got quite scared, actually. But anyway, I got through that, broke the fast pretty poorly, if I'm being honest. Didn't really know what to do at that stage because I didn't have a guide or a coach. I was doing it all myself, which has pretty much been my entire journey. And but then I looked on to the next one, and all my issues came back, by the way, because I broke it poorly. So the pain came back, the skin came back. I had all these problems again. And I thought, right, I've just got to fast again. I didn't know what to do on a day-to-day basis. So I did another fast. This is the one I'm making the documentary about with my brother. But I didn't quite get the result I was looking for on that one. And I realized that like fasting isn't just as simple as just drinking water. You don't just drink water, not eat food, and you heal. Like I didn't really understand, well, what makes it healing? I just knew that it wasn't that simple. So I was having all these little experiences and these big experiences of fasting, and I was just learning a lot about my body and how the body responds to things and heals. And then I came across Dr. Robert Morse, and he taught me about the power of fruits and herbs and like regenerative detoxification. So the idea that like our body regenerates when it cleans out the chemistry that's causing the degeneration. And the chemistry that's causing the degeneration is the acidic chemistry that we accumulate. And I learned about kidneys and kidney filtration and the importance of cleaning out the bowels and like everything that I'd done up until that point and the things I was learning and what Dr. Morse was teaching me, it was just like light bulb after light bulb. And I was just thinking, okay, this isn't really complex. You know, our body, regardless of what we're suffering from, what our disease and title is, our diagnosis, there's a cause. And when we address the cause, the body will heal and regenerate. And the way we do that is through detoxification. And that's what fasting is. Like when we fast, our body goes through a rapid, deep level of detox. And we also go through things like cell renewal and autophagy and all these terms that we know about thanks to science, and stem cell production and these sorts of things. But, you know, it's been interesting because even with these ideas that science has given us of autophagy and stem cells, and I've had clients that have fasted for 20 days on water and haven't healed. And I've fasted for 40 days and I didn't heal. I did a 40-day water fast in a jungle in Bali, and I got worse. And I was thinking, like, why is that? You know, and I realized it was because it's not as simple, like I said, as just drinking water. Your body actually has to eliminate. And I was urinating in a jar every day for 40 days. And every single time I urinated, it was perfectly clear. And if you know anything about the kidneys and filtration, you'll know that you want sediment in your urine because then you know that your lymphatic system is cleaning. So by the end of that fast, I'd done just about very little, if any, kidney filtration, excuse me. And my pain was worse, like my neck, my shoulders, my back, you know, I'd really put my nervous system and my body under a lot of stress. So it was a really, it was a valuable lesson. It was a tough one to go through because I really put myself through a really tough experience. 40 days without anything was tough, but it was one of the best lessons I've learned and helped me a lot now and in the work that I do and working with other people. But yeah, I've just been able to take all these experiences and it's kind of simmered down to what I understand now is a really simple truth of how our body heals. And it's through elimination, because whether we have skin problems, whether we have tumors, cysts, polyps, whether we have pain, arthritis, you know, you can go through every single list and name on like every single diagnosis that you can be given. it all comes back to chemistry. And our body has a number of ways in which it balances chemistry. And these are our channels of elimination. So if our channels of elimination shut down and we're no longer eliminating all of the acidic chemistry, well, what do acids do? Acids break down, they deteriorate, they inflame. Hydrochloric acid is designed to break down protein in our stomach. And the cellular waste that we produce has a very similar pH to hydrochloric acid. So if we're accumulating these things, it just makes perfect sense. We're going to have issues. We're going to have pain. We're going to have symptoms. And the answer is not to treat the symptom. The answer is to treat the cause, and all the symptoms go away. So yeah, it's proven true in a lot of cases now with the clients I've worked with. And I've had people heal from ovarian tumors and colon tumors and Lyme disease and fibroids and skin problems, chronic skin problems they've had for 10 years, and just all of these really chronic, like incurable, quote unquote, conditions. And they literally heal themselves. Like these people, my clients, we heal ourselves and all we have to do is learn the tools.
Wow, amazing. So Sinclair, if you had to approach this 40 days water fast now, with your knowledge right now, what would you change? What would you do differently?
It's a good question. I would definitely change the amount of water that I drank, because it was far too much. I was drinking like 8+ liters of water every day.
Okay.
Not because I needed it, but because my understanding was water is going to heal me.
Yeah, that you need to flush. That you need to flush out things. Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you go about it today in terms of water?
I would drink what I need when I need it. And that would probably look more like 1 liter or 2 a day, which to some people just sounds madness. But we drink way too much water. We eat way too much food and we drink way too much water. And the problem is all of that hydration, it puts a really big workload on the kidneys, because the kidneys have to process, digest all of the fluids, our blood and our lymphatic fluid, in the same way that the digestive system digests food. So we understand if we eat too much food, it's going to give us digestive issues. Well, if we drink too much fluid, it's going to cause a weakness of the kidneys. And we can see that because the more fluid you drink, the clearer your urine will run. And we think that's good. But if our urine is clear, where is all that cellular waste going? And the answer is it just accumulates. It builds up around our hips, around our joints. It builds up around the ovaries and the uterus, and it causes endometriosis and ovarian cysts and tumors, and it affects the menstrual cycle, and it causes colitis and sinusitis and tinnitus and every itis condition there is, because itis just means inflammation. So inflammation comes from the acidic side of chemistry. So I'm hearing these things, I'm just like, it's all just making so much sense.
Okay, good.
Hopefully it is for everyone else.
Good. So you are saying that you would change the water intake. Would you change anything else now?
Yeah, like I've done a number of big fasts now, and I really believe that you want to be comfortable. I had this idea, this like romantic idea of being in nature and, you know, having the sunrise and breathing fresh air, and that's all great. But if you're not comfortable and you're not sleeping well, then it's a lot of stress to take on when your body is already under a decent amount of stress and you want to be relaxed. So my best fast was actually in my first one when I was in Mexico, and I was in the middle of Guadalajara, horns, busy streets, food stalls. I was smelling like peanut butter sandwiches. It smelled like peanut butter sandwiches the whole time.
Okay.
And which is kind of nice, but it was like maybe not ideal. But it was my best experience because I was relaxed. I didn't have any kind of expectations. I went into it just totally willing and kind of, you know, whatever came up. And I wasn't trying to be too intellectual about things. And every other fast I've, you know, like tested my urine all the time, or I've tried to make a documentary about it, and literally day 20, I'm with a cameraman and we're filming and I'm directing, and it's like, you don't do that. Like when you're fasting, you do nothing.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions at this point for Sinclair? You can just unmute yourself and ask questions if you have any. If not, we will just proceed with the webinar.
We might have one.
Yeah, Vital, hello.
Hi. Hi. I just, I don't know, maybe you'll talk about it later, but I'm trying to figure out what's the best, like in between fasts, what's the best, what is the best diet? I mean, is it recommended not to eat acidic things that like animal products that produce acid, or a little bit, or I'm still trying to figure it out. Many different people say different things, so it is hard to.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's a good question, and there's a lot of different opinions about it. There's a lot of contradictive science about it as well. So it's really confusing. There's a few different ways to answer this, but I guess I'll start just by saying that all of us, every single human being on the planet, requires carbon for energy, and carbon comes from carbohydrates. So, and there are different forms of carbohydrates, but the highest form of carbon comes from fruit.
Yeah.
And then you'll have people say we're fruitarians or frugivores, that we're designed to eat fruit. And I would totally agree with that. Based on our physiology and our anatomy, and based on my experience, based on what I've seen in terms of my clinical experience with clients, fruit is the highest form of energy, has the highest amount of electrical chemistry, and it also hydrates and cleanses the body. And the reason we get sick, the reason we have fatigue and digestive issues and every single problem that we get, every diagnosis and disease that I'm talking about, is because our bodies are not eliminating properly. And the food that we're eating is either hydrating and supporting elimination, or it's dehydrating because it's acidic and it's preventing elimination. So fruits are really the best food for us, but I'm not saying we all need to be fruitarians. I'm not a fruitarian, probably 90%, but certainly it's raw, plant-based, high energetic chemistry, I feel, is the best food for us in general, but certainly if we're looking to heal.
Yeah, of course it is the best thing, but do you need anything else in addition, or this is just enough just to be fruitarian?
Well, it's enough. It's enough because fruit has every single vitamin, nutrient, mineral that we need. You know, nature is very clever. Nature is designed to provide every species everything they need in the food that is designed for that species. So, you know, we're the only species on the planet that cooks our food. We're the only species on the planet that debates about whether we should eat meat or fruit or vegetables or keto, or we're too intellectual.
Yeah, we lost our natural intuition and connection to nature. That's right. I mean, we don't know what we're supposed to eat. I mean, animals know intuitively what they're supposed to eat, and we have to think to figure it out. So it's kind of weird. And there's so much controversy over it. I mean, different people say that different things, so it's hard to figure out. Yeah, it makes sense that, like, because of the digestive system, it's like we're supposed to be eating fruits, but you know, many people say about the protein, about animal fat, animal protein. So I just want to hear different opinions to try to understand such a simple and basic things. What's the natural diet for human beings? And it's so many opinions.
Yeah, well, we're just so disconnected from nature now and we rely on science, we rely on academics, we rely on other people, and it's like if we want to take care of our health, if we want to heal, if we want to feel vital, we need to take responsibility for our own health, and we need to become our own healer. And I say this all the time, and that's what fasting is. Fasting is taking accountability for our health. And you'll find that when you fast, when you go to break a fast, the only thing you're going to want is hydration. You're going to want fruit. Nobody breaks a fast and thinks, man, I want like slow roast pork or like a T-bone steak. You want like high electrical living chemistry, because your body's craving that. And when you have watermelon after breaking a fast, it's like the best. It's the best watermelon you've ever had. And every single time, even if you just don't eat until dinner, that watermelon is going to be the best watermelon you've ever had. It's always delicious. And it's like animals in nature are pretty much mono eaters. They eat one food predominantly their entire life, maybe one food group. And people are like, oh, how could you just eat fruit every day? It's like, well, how does a zebra eat grass all day? Like, how do all animals eat mono meals all the time? It's because that's what they're supposed to eat. And if we actually have a hunger for something, if you go a little bit without food and don't eat all day, which we're supposed to do, then you will have a hunger for fruit every single day. And it becomes a lot easier.
Okay, and animals, that's true. Animals don't warm their food. They don't cook their food. They don't spice their food. They just eat it like that. And we're strayed away from the natural path.
Exactly.
And also, you mentioned water. We're not supposed to drink water I've noticed on myself, if you eat a lot of raw fruit and vegetables, you don't need water.
Yeah, it's true. Like the more raw you eat, the more high fruit you eat, you just won't need water. I don't really drink water myself. If I eat cooked foods, I do, because I'll wake up in the morning like really dehydrated, so I'll have a bit of water. But I still consume a lot of water, but I get it from fruit. And fruit is the best form of hydration, because it's all the rainwater has to go through the earth back into the plant. It gets filtered, structured, energized, and it becomes the most hydrating fluid you can take in. So that's where we should be getting it from. And like we're not dehydrated because we don't drink enough water. We're dehydrated because we're holding on to so much acidic chemistry, which is dehydrating. And that's what's giving us dry skin, what's stiffening our muscles and our joints, and causing so many of our health concerns. That's the problem. So we need to get rid of that. And I've had clients who have had really dry skin, eczema, psoriasis. They've gone on a dry fast, 0 fluid, and their skin has healed. So how is that possible? It's because when they dry fast, they go through a deep level of detoxification, and their urine, I could show you videos and photos of it because they send it to me, it's full of sediment. So this is the key. It's like clean out the body and the body will regenerate, and energy will return, and function and structure. And where our body is designed to regenerate in the same way that it degenerates. It's just we need to learn how to support it.
Not to stand in its way. By the way, you mentioned kidney filtration. How do you? It's not easy to get to your kidneys to filtrate. I mean,
yeah.
How did you get to your kidneys to filtrate?
It took me some time, but mainly because I had to learn through a bit of trial and error. But the best thing that I've seen across the board is dry fasting. And the reason is because when you dry fast, you give your kidneys the deepest level of rest that they've ever had. Because you think about it, how often do we go without fluid? Probably 12 hours maximum. And we wake up and we start drinking coffee, we start drinking juices, we have whatever, our morning routine is. So the kidneys are just working all the time, constantly. Dry fasting, when done correctly, it's the first opportunity the kidneys get where they can rest. And rest always equates to healing, because when we rest, our body uses that energy to heal. That's why water fasting is so beneficial, juice fasting, because they're all different levels of rest.
And last question, could you tell us about your diet? I mean, you said you eat cooked foods, and
Yeah.
so how often? And probably you eat it because you want it because of the taste, not because it is not.
Because I'm an addict.
We all are.
We're all addicts. Hate to break it to you guys, but we're all addicted to cooked foods.
The only
No,
difference is
Yeah.
the only difference is that we know it. We that are trying, we fast, we are
Yeah.
aware of it. People not, because it is a legitimate addiction. Food is a legitimate addiction. So people think, why it is natural to eat, but it's not. It's gluttony. It's about pleasure.
Yeah, it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, pleasure's fine. We should seek pleasure. But the problem is, if we're suffering, if we have disease, sickness, pain, and we need healing, then we need to understand that cooked food will never give us the healing that we're looking for, because there's no detoxification with cooked food. There's no energetics with cooked food. It's not what we should be eating in the first place. In fact, cooked food is what caused our problem in the first place. So how do we expect to get better when we're still eating the very thing that made us sick?
So why do we enjoy it so much if we're not supposed to eat it? Why is it so tasty? Why is it so pleasurable?
Because we have so much suppressed emotion that when we go to raw and we go to fruit, all of this starts to stir and we start to feel. And a lot of us don't want to feel. And cooked food brings us back down to a comfortable place. It gives us a hug. It gives our soul a hug. It's warming, it's grounding, it's comforting, but it's not healing. And that's the problem. And we have parasites that we've brought into our body because of the food we've eaten. We have fungus that we've brought in because of the food that we've eaten. So we have microorganisms that love these foods as well. And when you get rid of that stuff, like I've had dozens and dozens of parasites come out, and I was a big meat eater, like I said at one point. I have no desire for meat anymore. Like, I smell it and it kind of doesn't do it for me. And by the way, I got nothing against anybody who eats meat. I'm not here to tell anybody what they should do. I'm here to help people if they need help and they want my help. But this is why we're addicted to these foods, because we're not designed to eat them. That's the truth.
That's why it's an absurd. We really enjoy them. Why do we crave them? Why do we enjoy them so much if we're not supposed to eat? So anyway, condition, also psychological, both psychological and physical addiction. You started saying what your diet is, like what?
Yeah, I eat predominantly fruits. It depends where I am. Like here in Costa Rica, I've just been like chowing down on papayas and oranges and pineapples and all the stuff I can get here, and I feel amazing. Like, I really do. I feel great on it. And but ordinarily it's like fruit all day, and then I'll have a salad in the evening, maybe some cooked food. But I don't eat vegetables and cooked foods for any nutritional benefits, because I look to get all my nutrition from fruit. And then when I want to have a salad, it's because I'm socializing, or I just want to have like I just want to have that.
Salty
yeah, I want something salty. I want the texture. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, now we have a question from Sunita.
Thank you very much, Sinclair.
Yeah, thanks for the questions.
Sunita, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. I just wanted to know, are you, I mean, you said you sometimes have vegetables. Do you also have like green leaves and all, and are you worried about the phytates and the oxalates from them? Because sometimes they say that you have to have low glycemic, or you've got to be worried about the oxalates for kidney stones and all that. Does that also, you take that into account, or you just eat anything and everything with regards to the fruits and vegetable and leaves family?
I definitely do take it into account. I don't go as deep and specific about the chemistry of vegetables and oxalates and these types of things that are pretty common in the natural world. But I listen to my body, and if something doesn't feel good when I'm eating it, then I'll avoid it. So generally, when it comes to vegetables, I don't eat the high oxalate vegetables, the dark leafy greens as much. I'll stick to the easy to digest, more like softer lettuces and cucumbers and peppers, and but I try to keep it really simple, to be honest, because I've just noticed that with myself, the simpler I keep it, the lower in fat that I keep it, the lower in nuts and seeds. My body really doesn't like nuts and seeds at all. I just feel much better, much more energetic. My bowels move really easily when I'm high on fruit. And like I said, if I'm having a salad, it's not because I'm like, oh, I need to get my, my greens in, and I need chlorophyll, or I need any of these kind of specific nutrients that greens provide, because I believe I'm getting the highest form of nutrition from fruit. So salads for me and vegetables and cooked foods are just a way for me to enjoy something a bit different.
So would you say fruit include avocado? Is that one of the things you also include?
Technically it's a fruit, but when it comes to healing and energy and digestion, it's not the ideal food. And I'm pretty sparing with that as well.
So your ideal is what? Generally the watery fruits, the watermelon, the melons, the oranges, stuff? Yeah.
If you're looking for healing, that's where you'll find it. And if you're looking just to feel really good, have lots of energy, and you eat those foods predominantly, like those kinds of fruits predominantly, especially in the daytime, and you eat whatever you want for dinner, but if you eat those fruits in the daytime, you're going to feel the benefits and the power from those foods, for sure.
So basically, you till sunset, you eat just fruits, and then maybe for dinner you would have a light salad or something, or
yeah, exactly. And the salad's low in fat. It's generally got little or no oil. I make dressings with a little bit of avocado, lemon juice, herbs. I love using herbs. I use different spices. And it's not just a salad every time. I'll make like wraps. I'll make little taco cups. For a lot of people, they're just like, that's crazy. Like, I could never eat that way. And a lot of people couldn't, but I've been through so many different modalities and eating styles and all this, and I just feel absolutely so much better when I eat this way. I wake up clear and energetic. And when I eat cooked foods, it's the opposite. I wake up dehydrated. I don't feel my best. So I think it's important for everybody to go through their own process, and don't just take my word for it. Don't rely on the books and the science. Go and experience this stuff for yourself.
And do you also have a lot of raw soups, or is that?
Yeah, not a lot, but I definitely would. I like them. Yeah.
So when you go out, for example, if you're attending functions, friends, birthday parties, what do you normally have with them?
Depends what kind of day you get me on. If I've got the willpower, I'll have like if I'm being good, I'll have like a salad or something. If I'm not, then I'll do my best to kind of I always eat plant-based, so I'll eat as clean as I can. But I'm not a saint. Like, I don't know if I'm sounding like that. I'm certainly not. Like, I'm in this position. I do the job I do because I've made many mistakes. The wheels have fallen off the wagon many, many times. So, like, yeah, I do my best. And when I'm out, I know that. I know if I keep my food low fat, if I try to avoid the oils, and I keep it simple, I'll be doing my best for my body. But then I also want to enjoy myself and socialize. And if I eat too much or whatever, I used to beat myself up. I don't anymore. Now it's like, I get on with it. I enjoy the company. I enjoy the experience. And the next day I give my body a rest. I'll digest it. I'll eliminate it, and I'll feel better again.
So you would still have the bean burger or the tofu jerky or whatever it is that is on the table with
I just spent 10 days in Costa Rica with my brother. It was his 40th, and I had wine and burgers, but I felt like crap. And now I'm a week into eating fruit, and I feel amazing. So it's like, we all go through it. I'm going through it every single day. we're all on the same path.
So you're doing it alone? It's not part of a family thing?
Well, my personal healing journey, you mean?
I thought this journey that you're doing, is it you're doing it with others in your family, or is it just you?
Oh no, I'm not. I don't have a family. Like I don't have kids. I'm not married. So okay. I'm pretty much, I'm going solo.
And your brother's not part of your journey?
No. My brother doesn't eat this way. So he does his thing. I do mine. It's a lot easier when you're by yourself, but you know, you can't stay by yourself forever.
When you did your fasting, what was your worst symptom that you had initially? I mean, is something that you could not bear and you had to like literally tear your hair out? What did you do?
Yeah, the most intense symptom that I felt, probably there's a few. One of them was just like major fatigue and irritability and just feeling really like outside my body. I just felt, I didn't feel connected to my body, and it was just a very uncomfortable place. This was my very first fast, and on day 10, it was day 10. And of course it was my first fast, so I didn't really know what any of it meant, but I was this close to breaking the fast. Yeah, I would have, but it was 10 p.m. and there was no shops open. And all I had in my kitchen was salt because I didn't want any temptation there. So I said, all right, in the morning, if I still feel this way, I'll break it. And in the morning, I said, all right, I do still feel this way. I feel like crap, but I'll do an enema and then I'll go break my fast. I did an enema and I passed 3 giant parasites. And I looked in the bowl and I was like, whoa, what is that? And then I realized I didn't feel crap anymore. In fact, I felt even better than I did before I started feeling crap. And I've learned now through many, many experiences, through my clients, passing parasites is, well, firstly, parasites, just having them in the body, they have a huge impact on the way we feel, the food that we crave, our mental state, our emotional state. Parasites, getting rid of parasites is a big, big part of healing. Another one, I had this really intense anxiety experience because I didn't sleep. And it was when I did my 40-day water fast, I was trying to film an interview with Dr. Morse and like setting it all up in the jungle with Wi-Fi and all that. And it was like the middle of the night because of the time difference. And my heart was just like beating through my chest and I couldn't sleep. So I missed a whole night's sleep. And then my anxiety was just through the roof because you get really sensitive on a water fast. Your adrenal function your blood pressure comes down naturally. Your body conserves energy because it's trying to prioritize healing. And your adrenals, especially if they're weak, you're going to feel that low adrenal function, which mine are. So I was just pushing it way too hard and my adrenals were just fighting to kind of stay afloat. And as a result, I had major anxiety. But other than that, I actually haven't had too many problems with fasting, and I haven't really had too many people I've worked with who have had major problems either. And I believe it's because A, the preparation is key, and B, when you do the fast properly and you're in the right environment and your body is rested, your mind is rested, your nervous system is rested, you're just naturally going to go to this really calm, centered place. And I don't really find that the body has too much trouble other than mentally. Physically, maybe a few aches and pains as the body shifts chemistry, but not really. I've had more symptoms on a juice fast. And I believe it's because when we overdo the juice, where that hydration, that level of hydration, it's shifting all this chemistry and the body's going through this major detox, trying to clean the house as quickly as possible and keep up with all this hydration. And it's like, that's what ends up kicking us into like a big cold and flu or setting off pain. And whereas if we just drink what we need, sip the juice throughout the day, you'll find energy is more stable, you feel more relaxed, you don't have too many uncomfortable symptoms. It's all about just having what we need and not overdoing.
You mentioned enema. A lot of people don't mention that. Was that a big part of the cleansing?
Yeah, yeah, for me, definitely. And I'm definitely one of those people, one of those coaches who recommends it. But if you go to like Dr. Alan Goldhammer, who's one of the leading experts and has a clinic and has facilitated fasting for 30,000 people, he would tell you, don't do enemas. And I went and interviewed him once and I said, well, what about mucoid plaque? And he's like, it doesn't exist. And I was like, well, what the hell was coming out of me? Like, I had so much plaque coming out of me, and I've seen all of this stuff coming out, and it's like, so there's lots of different opinions, but like, I just bring it back to, well, if our body heals through elimination, and when we fast, our body is not eliminating because our digestive system slows down, then why not support it gently and safely with enemas? Because I've had so much stuff come out of my body on a fast, and every time it's just made me feel, it's given me that lift, like that lift so I can keep going. And
was
same
it just water enemas, or did you have to use any particular herbs or oils or anything like that?
It's just, I've done it with all of them. I've done it with oils, lemons, lemon juice, Brags. I did it with apple cider vinegar. I thought I was about to friggin' cark it. Like, it was so painful.
Yeah.
It really, really. And then I did an inversion. I did an inversion because I wanted it to go deeper into the digestive tract.
Oh my God.
And then I just curled up in a ball. I was in so much pain. So don't do that. And yeah, I've done it with lots of things, but now I just do warm water.
Warm water. So
Yeah.
do you do a liter, or do you just do like 250 ml?
I do as much as I can take comfortably, which is generally 2 liters because the bags are all 2 liters.
You do 2 liters? Oh my gosh, that's quite a bit.
Not always. Like, if I can, I do. But if I can't, I'm not going to like strain and push it. I'll just take what I can, and then I'll release, and then might go back and do it again. All I'm looking to do every time is just have a decent release, because I know if I have a good release, I'm going to feel way better. My mind is going to feel clearer, because our mind and our brain is directly connected and related to our digestive tract. And I know that my energy is going to feel better because I'm releasing that cargo, that weight, that heaviness that I'm holding onto, that is the waste. It's the stuff our body wants to get rid of. So,
yeah. And when you do the enema, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, right?
Yeah. Or I'll do it in the middle of the day if I'm not feeling too good, or I'll do it in the night if I don't feel good and I haven't had a bowel movement all day. Every time's different. I just listen to my body.
Wow.
Sinclair, so do you do enemas even on regular days, not necessarily when you are fasting?
If I'm constipated, yeah. And that's generally because I'm eating too many cooked foods, or like I'm traveling or something, whatever reason. Like, if I haven't had a bowel movement all day, that's way too long for me. I know that I know that's going to be affecting the way I feel and the way I think. And I know that if I just have a good release, everything will start moving again, and I'm going to feel better.
Okay, and don't you feel that that applying enemas makes your regular bowel movements less regular, like because it creates a particular dependence on the enema, or you don't have such experience?
If you do them every single day, then yeah, you're going to rely on them every single day. But as soon as you stop and you get back to the right foods, and you start bringing in hydration and electrical chemistry, it'll turn your digestive system back on straight away. So I don't believe that enemas create a dependency, but I do believe you can overuse them. But even if you did have if you had a weakness there and you just found that even enemas weren't fixing it, then what you need to probably do is do some form of fasting, because the fasting will fix the digestive system.
Okay. Sinclair, so you started with this prolonged water fast. That was your first one, right? Or yeah. So you started your journey, and then after that, you also had few periods of extensive juice fasting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and finally, recently you completed how many days with Dr. Filonov's? Like 6 days or 7 days?
I did 6 days.
So if you could compare and contrast all these 3 modalities of fasting, how could you go about that? Because actually my idea is to help people find the modality that would be best for them, for their goals, for their situations. And I was thinking that you are the best person to talk about it, because you have experienced all of those.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me answer it in 2 ways. I guess I'll tell you my different experiences, and then I'll tell you what I think is best for or when we're considering which is best for us, how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
To start off with my experience, I would compare them all at, like, if we could put them on different levels, right? If we could put a pyramid together and say at the top of the pyramid is dry fasting,
Mm-hmm.
then water fasting, and then juice fasting. And the higher up the pyramid we go, the deeper the level of detox, the deeper the level of healing, the faster the speed of healing and regeneration. So dry fasting being there at the top. Water fasting, we're slowing it down a little bit. How much water we drink determines how much we slow it down.
Yeah.
Because if we only drink a little bit of water, then we're leaning more towards a dry fast anyway. If we drink more water, we're going more towards like a liquid. Excuse me, I just had a lot of orange.
No problem.
Yeah, we're bringing in more fluid, and it's going to slow down that healing process a little bit. Then if we bring in chemistry from juice, it's going to slow down the process a little bit more, because our body has to then put a little bit more energy into that. I mean, not much, but a little bit more energy into the digestive process.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it depends on how much juice we drink. So the way I would compare them all is I would look at them as different speeds and different levels of detoxification. And I say that word detoxification with intention, because that is how we heal. And we use all these different levels of fasting to bring about different levels of detoxification. And the more we detox, the more we heal. The more you clean out your lymphatic system, the more regeneration you're going to have. And eventually your body's going to clean out every single corner, nook and cranny, and you're going to get rid of tumors, fibroids, arthritis, pain. Yeah, everything, because it's all coming back to that. So, yeah, I would say that when it comes to the experience, like dry fasting has been, the 6-day dry fast I did was the most challenging one I've done, much harder than the 40-day water fast, because mentally it was really challenging. I was really thirsty. I was like, every single minute of the day for at least 3 days, from 3, 4, or from 4, 5, and 6, I was thinking about water and like daydreaming about the river that was down the road, and like I was on an orange grove. So there was like oranges and grapefruits, and like, I love those fruits. So I'm just thinking, man, like how good would those be right now, you know? And, you know, so you're just fantasizing about this stuff. So it becomes such a mental game, because physically, like I was like, all right, I don't feel great physically. I had energy, by the way. Like I went for a 3-hour walk on day 4. So, you know, and everyone I was with, even on day 8 and 9, were going for big walks. So the energy physically is there. It's mentally, do you have the capacity to get through the challenge? And that is really the challenge with all levels of fasting, I'd say, even water fasting. And then you got like juice fasting. You could juice fast and go to work. You know, you could juice fast and go to the gym. If you want to heal, I wouldn't recommend stressing the body out too much. I'd still say you got to relax. But the difference is you're still eating. It's not really a fast, it's a feast. And you can take in 2,000-3,000 calories on a juice fast, and you can feel, most people feel really, really good on a juice fast. What gets people on a juice fast is the food addiction and the cravings. And if you can overcome that, you can do some really, really deep levels of healing on a juice fast. You can also overdo it, and you can drink too much juice, and you can have a really unpleasant experience. So again, it's like knowing what to do, how to do it, what different fruits, how different fruits will affect you, and how different fruits go deeper into the lymphatic system and will challenge you more, and how some will ground you, and how vegetables, when you juice them, will ground you, and being able to use all these tools. You know, this is all about becoming your own healer and understanding these things, not because you read about them, but because you've experienced them.
So look, Sinclair, if a person goes on a juice fast, do you have any particular method of, for example, how much juice to drink and whether to drink it just a few times a day as a meal and then in between, or just and then go in between without juice, without drinking, or just sipping it throughout the day, or it's really, really personal from one person to another?
It's definitely personal, but I'd say that for everyone, you're going to benefit more if you just sip what you need. Because I'll bring it all back to the kidneys. You know, if you overdo the juice, you'll have a really nice digestive cleanse because you're just going to put tons of fluid and hydration down the colon and the GI tract. And you might have a lot of bowel movements, but are you filtering your kidneys through your kidneys? And if you're not, then your healing is always going to be very, very limited. And if you just had that mindset of like just having what you need and not being overindulgent with the juice, and you know, not having meals but just sipping, like you get thirsty, take a sip, put it away and get on with your day, you'll realize that you get by with like a liter or two and you actually feel much better, like you've got more energy. And your urine will stay very dark, your urine will have more sediment in it. And if you have things like tumors and arthritis and pain and skin problems, you'll notice that these things start to get better a lot quicker. Whereas if you drink too much juice, your skin will break out, because all that hydration in a body that's already struggling to eliminate, your body's just going to push it out the skin, which it's already doing. So it's really important we understand how to go through if we're going to put ourselves through these experiences, which are tough, we should really understand and know what we're doing, because then we don't have to do it over and over and over again to get it right. We can get it right the first time.
Wonderful. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions? We have something in the chat, but if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, I want to ask in terms of if you eat bad food, cooked food, which are the worst and which are less bad? Like if you want to indulge in something, like animals and animal products are the worst, and cooked plants, legume and rice and beans are less bad? Or how do you?
I would say that dairy's at the top of the list. Dairy is the most mucus forming. Most people eat dairy and they get like mucusy nose. Okay. And it's like the body's telling you immediately, like that's a really acidic food. And then I would put all animal foods under that, to be honest. I'd say like meat in general. Meat is high in protein, right? It's not all protein, but it's high in protein. And our body doesn't actually want protein. It wants amino acids. So we have to break that protein down, which is very costly to our digestive system. And then we use those amino acids for various things. But that process that we go through when we break down protein leaves acidic chemistry. And that acidic chemistry has a degenerative effect on our kidneys, on our digestive tract. It acidifies the blood. And then our blood or our body has to pull calcium from connective tissue. It's called the calcium buffering system. And it takes all that calcium to balance the pH of the blood. And what happens is we pull all this calcium after years and years and years and years. And then we get weakening of bones, teeth, nails. We get varicose veins, spider veins. We bruise easily. We get prolapsing. We get aneurysms. We get all kinds of different issues that are all related to the weakening of this connective tissue. And it all comes back to chemistry and what we're bringing in. So the best way to eat any animal products is raw, to be honest.
That includes fish. I mean,
yeah.
Raw fish is not that bad.
Well, raw fish definitely digests the easiest. My issue with raw fish is like the parasites, because I've looked at just the parasitic the amount of parasites in fish and like marine life, and then the microplastics and the pollutants in the water. And So I'm just like, look, do we need fish? Do we need animals to thrive? No. Like, do we need them to heal? Absolutely not. Like we want to get away from that chemistry, and we want to get into hydration and alkaline chemistry and elimination. So if we eat those things, we do it for pleasure. And then we cook them with a mindfulness. We cook them very gently. We slow cook them. When I was paleo, I slow cooked everything because I learned about how not to denature the food I was eating. So I'd slow cook, you know, pork shoulders and lamb roasts and all kinds of stuff in the oven. And you'd come home and the whole house would just smell like Thanksgiving. Like, it was amazing. But
Sinclair,
yeah.
but I just want to clarify, this term slow cooking means like a simmer, like for example, if you boil something, you just simmer it or something like that, or just very low heat, or what does it mean, slow cooking?
It's the least amount of heat that you can apply to something and cook it over the longest period of time. So in the oven, put it at a really low temperature, and you might cook it all day, or you might cook it all overnight. You might do like a really slow braise, like a slow simmering soup, that kind of thing. Steaming. Okay. I much prefer to steam things. I'll steam my veggies, sweet potatoes, all that kind of stuff. I don't really like, if I'm cooking for myself, I don't roast things with oil or fry them, you know, because you just feel it. You feel the difference when you eat things that have been cooked really gently, and without fat. They digest a lot easier, and it's not so taxing on your nervous system to digest these things and your digestive system. Okay.
Yeah. Sinclair, and we have a question here. Okay, Rebecca, just finish your question.
So you're saying that legume and starch are the least harmful, like better than animal and animal products?
I would probably put them underneath, but to be honest, they wouldn't be too far. They wouldn't be too far below, because
rice, beans,
they're still high protein. Like beans and lentils, they're high protein. They've got a lot of phytic acid. They don't digest well. They're sulfur foods. If we have a lot of sulfur from antibiotics and pharmaceuticals, you're going to get gassy and bloaty. You're going to have a lot of pain if you've already got pain in certain areas of the body. They're more inflammatory foods. So again, you're eating them because you enjoy them, but if you want to heal, if you've got things that you're working on, you know, there's really little place for those kind of foods, unfortunately, especially if you've got candida and fungus.
If I want to indulge to enjoy myself once, so which is the least the least harmful, like you're saying, legume and like potatoes?
I would go with like probably lentils. Sprout your lentils, really easy to do, and then you can steam them, or then you can boil them, and they'll digest much easier, or just throw them in a salad raw. Sprout your beans, your nuts, your seeds. You activate them by soaking them in water and dehydrating them, or soaking them in water and then throwing them in a smoothie, or not a smoothie, like a dressing or something like that.
And eggs and dairy products, you don't recommend?
I don't eat those things. No. I can't really help you there because I don't eat them, so I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, Sinclair, we have a question from Murali Krishnan.
Yep.
He says he completed. Just a moment. Murali, would you like to unmute yourself and just ask the question? If not, I will read it from the chat, but you can just unmute yourself.
Hi. So actually, we had completed a 43-day fast, a water fast, and with the lung cancer, it got increased instead of decreased. So we are surprised as to why this is happening, because our fast was very much on track, and it was only with water, and at max we had lemon water, but otherwise nothing else was consumed.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going back to what I was saying before about it's not just as simple as drinking water, because you can drink water and fast, and if your body's not eliminating, then you can actually make the problem worse. Like I had a client who did 20 days on water and her tumor got bigger, And this was years back when I really understood the importance of kidney filtration and how to support the kidneys during a fast. With her, it just came down to too much water, not enough kidney filtration. And this is why dry fasting really is the pinnacle. But yeah, I would say that the individual you're talking about still would have experienced some levels of healing. So don't think that it's all in vain. But the issue is the level of kidney weakness that they currently have is just too deep, and the amount of hydration and the workload they were giving their kidneys was too much. So it is individual. We need to understand our own levels of weakness, and we need to understand how to support our bodies if we're going to go through these levels of fasting. We really need to be guided. Like, if you're going to go through some of, and maybe you did, maybe you were, and maybe the guide just didn't know about this, but it's not something you want to get into by yourself, personally. But yeah, I would say just stay on the path. You know, for this individual, it's you know, go back to kidneys, go back to the best things to support the kidneys, and it's everything I've been talking about. It's fruits and hydration and fasting the right way. You know, being really conscious of how much hydration you take in, even when you're not fasting. Me now, like, I'm still regenerating my kidneys. I don't drink water. I eat fruit. Like today, I've eaten 4 oranges before I got on this call. And I'll probably just keep dry fasting till dinner, and then I'll have a giant papaya. But my urine stays very dark. It stays not a lot of sediment, but I filter every single day. And I know as long as that's the case, that I'm on the right path. As soon as I jump into drinking lots of water and I eat way too much fruit, or I'm just overdoing it, not only does my kidneys start suffering and my urine starts running really clear, but I feel slower, more tired. I wake up feeling sluggish, because it's all about energy. If we're bringing in just enough and we're eliminating really nicely, we'll stay at a high level of energy. But if we're bringing in too much, even fruit, then that's going to affect our energy. Everything we bring in affects our energy. Every bit of food, everything we think, our environment, the people we surround ourselves with. You can go pretty deep with all of this, but if we just focus on the food to start with, then, you know, we can see some really great results.
Okay,
Does that help?
Yeah.
Sinclair, can I ask you something about urine therapy and what's your views on that? And did you have coconut water as well?
Did I have coconut water? What, sorry?
What's your views on urine therapy, and did you also have coconut water as part of your juices?
Okay. Okay, so urine therapy I've never done. It comes up a lot. I'm certainly not one of those people who's like, it's madness, we shouldn't do it. And I'm never going to say that about something I've never done, because a lot of people seem to have a great experience with it. My perspective is that it's not necessary. But if you want to do it, go for it. You know, if you want to try it, go for it. I don't think it's unsafe. But if you're filtering, can I share my screen, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a moment.
Thank you.
Sure. Rain. Yeah, now you can share.
All right. I want to show you guys what I mean. So when we're talking about kidney filtration, you know, if your kidneys are filtering, it's very, very obvious. You will see it in your urine. This is what it's going to look like. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. Most of our urine looks like this. And this is the problem.
Oh.
It's perfectly clear. And we need it to, we need to see some form of sediment. So if we're drinking our urine and it looks like this, that to me, I wouldn't recommend that. If it's like this and it's not full of acidic chemistry, then, you know, we recycle and eliminate a lot of the excess nutrition that we don't need, minerals and amino acids and stem cells. And so, hey, maybe that's good for us, but do we need that? No, like we regenerate when we are cleaning and detoxifying properly. And we know that by just going on fruits, you can regenerate. You don't even need to fast. What you need to do, you need to get into living chemistry and make sure your body's detoxifying, because all regeneration comes about through elimination. And you just pick which level you want to go at. Fruits, juice, water, dry. It's up to you.
Right. And did you do coconut water at all? Because they say that's the most electrolyte juice around, which is healing. And
I don't actually. Like, I haven't had the best experience with coconut water. It actually gives me kidney pain. So I don't know why, to be honest. I think it's almost like too hydrating.
Okay.
But that's been my experience. So I actually avoid coconut water, but it's delicious. I love it. And I don't tell anyone not to drink it. It's just been my experience.
Does it depend on the coconut that you had, maybe? Because sometimes they say Thai coconuts are maybe too sweet. And you know, if you have the Sri Lankan ones or the Indian ones, they're less sweet. Does that matter, or it doesn't?
I don't know, to be honest. Like, I've had mainly Thai ones, and they're the ones that kind of give me a little bit of kidney pain. But I'm in, Costa Rica now. I had some coconuts here. I haven't even had a coconut here. I had a sip of one, and it wasn't that sweet. I didn't like it, but so I'm not too sure. It's one of those things you'd have to really try out for yourself. Right.
And do you do anything for B12 and things like that? When because they say there's so much, we lose a lot of B12 is one thing that we need to supplement all the time. Do you do anything for that?
No, I don't take any supplements. If you have a B12 deficiency, if you have an iron deficiency, a calcium deficiency, vitamin C deficiency, whatever it is, the first place you need to look is your digestive tract. And you need to look at, are you digesting, absorbing, assimilating the nutrition and the chemistry that you consume. So if you fix that and you get back to a whole food, predominantly raw plant-based diet, you'll fix all your deficiencies and you'll bring your chemistry back into balance. But if you start taking supplements, you might feel a relief from those supplements. I have clients who do, and I can tell you a story about one, but you're going to be dependent on those things forever. So fix the cause and then bring the body back into balance, and you won't have anything to worry about there.
So no need for B12, omega-3 and all that automatically goes. All right. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Okay, Sinclair. So, and now we have a question here in the chat. How do you maintain your weight? How do you maintain your weight just on fruits?
Well, it depends how big you want to be, I guess. If you want to be a bodybuilder, then you're going to have a hard time doing it on fruits. You're going to need to get into high amino acid foods. And then even on the raw plant-based side of things, you're going to be limited. So if you want to be a big person, then you might need to eat meat, but it just comes down to what your goals are. It's just important to know that if you do that, it comes with consequences. But if you just want to be strong and you want to be lean, you want to have energy and you want to feel good, firstly, clean out the body, give it a really, really good clean out so you can digest and absorb and assimilate all the food that you do eat. And then you'll find a balance between fruits and vegetables. And if you want to do it the raw way, then you'll experiment with things like sprouting beans and sprouting nuts and sprouting seeds, which are going to be higher in protein and higher in amino acids. But again, you're going to feel the acidic load that those foods bring. So you've got to find a balance with that. Or then you might go to some cooked foods. You'll build a lot easier on cooked foods. It really depends. It depends on what your goals are. But if your goal is just to have energy and have a body that feels good, have a lean amount of muscle, you can do that on fruits. And if you want more, like I said, you change the food up a little bit, or you change the training up a little bit. If you want to build more muscle, then you change the way you train and you lift heavier weight. You might lift less reps, and you'll adapt your training style to the type of body that you want to build and the type of performance that you want to create. So yeah, it's a pretty big conversation, that one, but it comes down to your goals.
Good, good. Then the next question is from Rachel. What does plaque look like, Sinclair?
You want to see?
Yeah, you can
Yeah?
show us. Yeah.
All right, I got to think of where I save these things. Hang on. Damn it. I thought I had it saved. I'll just look it up. I'll Google it. Wow. This is what it looks like. It's very, these people have done cleanses, so it's come out in this way. Maybe they've done some fasting, but it's very dark. It's very putrid. It's coated in mucus, and it has a really distinct smell. You know when you're releasing plaque because it's really foul, because it's protein that has putrefied over many years. Like anything that you put in your body and you don't eliminate, you're going to hold on to until the day you exit, unless you detox it.
Can a 48-hour fast do that, or does it have to be a lot of fasts, Sinclair?
A 48-hour fast could, yeah, probably you need to go a little longer than that.
Okay.
You need to hydrate, like you really need to hydrate. The thing is with dry fasting is it's not great to clean the digestive tract. That's why anyone will tell you, any coach will tell you that knows about dry fasting, you really need to clean the digestive tract first, and water fasting. Whereas juice fasting will do that. Juice fasting will just hydrate the bowels.
Well, oranges will clean it, will it?
Oranges are great for it. Apples are probably the best. Grapes are really good. But all fruits, when juiced, are fantastic. I'll get rid of that. It's kind of gross. So yeah, like cleaning the digestive tract is definitely really important before you go into a dry fast. But even dry fasting, to a degree, you'll have some digestive waste come out afterwards. It's just that you really have to be like intentional about cleaning the digestive tract afterwards. And that's why, you know, Rachel, I have you doing oranges and, you know, hydrating after yours.
Yeah.
So Rachel just did 48 hours, guys. So let's all give her a
wow, amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
But I had some nasty stuff come out of me after the 48, and it's still coming, and it's absolutely horrid smell, which I've never had before.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look that color.
Yeah.
Rachel, did you do enema, or it just came out naturally?
I was asked, Sinclair asked me to do an enema, but I'm so knackered I didn't do one. But I'm going to do one tomorrow morning.
It's coming out.
But I've been to the toilet throughout today, even
Perfect.
though I was on my 48 hour.
Yeah.
So it was 48 hours dry or 40 hours?
Dry. Yeah. I want the fast lane because I'm healing from cancer.
Okay. Okay, Sinclair, now there is another question. Can you also clarify the sugar in fruits?
Yeah. Okay, so fruit is very high in sugar, and our body, and that's a good thing, and that's why we love it, because our body runs on sugar. So every single cell of our body uses carbon from carbohydrates and oxygen, and it creates ATP, which is our energy factors, ATP, ADP, and AMP. So starving yourself of sugar is like starving yourself of the highest form of fuel that we can take. You know, yes, we can survive and feel good on fat, but that's the backup source. And our bodies aren't designed to go into ketosis through our diet. They're designed to go into ketosis through fasting. When we don't eat, we break down fat for fuel, but we've gotten too intellectual and decided that we'll do it by eating a high-fat diet. But the only way to eat a high-fat diet is to eat a high-protein diet, unless you do it the plant-based way. And protein is highly acidic. It weakens kidneys, weakens digestive tract. So it comes at a cost. So sugar is the #1 fuel, and it's full of electrolytes. It's full of vitamins and minerals. It's everything that our body needs. And that's why when we eat fruit, we feel amazing. We might go through a little bit of a detox, but you go through that detox and you'll feel incredible afterwards. You know, you'll start healing because the body will start hydrating properly, energizing properly. And so we've been brainwashed, honestly, brainwashed to be scared of fruit. I have diabetics who go on only fruit, and the reason, and their blood sugar comes down every single time. It might spike a little, but then it comes down after a matter of days. The reason is because fruit and fructose doesn't require insulin. It's uptaken into the cells via a process called diffusion, and that happens very, very easily. It's an easy process for our body to go through. And that's why when you eat fruit, you don't feel sluggish and tired, and you're like, you could go for a run, but you eat steak and potatoes, nobody's going for a run around the block after steak and potatoes, but you have watermelon, mango, papaya, you'll probably have a really good bowel movement and you'll feel even better. Your mind will feel clearer and you'll have a lot of energy. So yeah, we need to let go of the fear of fruit, and we need to understand that fruit is, when we're in the tropics, which is where we came from, you know, we migrated from the tropics, and that's why we had to cook food and hunt animals and things like that. But we migrated, or we evolved in the tropics, and fruit, when we're in the tropics, it's everywhere. We see it, we smell it, we're attracted to it, we love the taste of it. We've got fingers and hands that are designed to peel and eat fruit. We've got a digestive tract that's designed in such a way to digest slowly, because we want to digest everything out of the fruit, whereas a carnivore will have a very fast digestive, a short and fast digestive tract, because meat putrefies, and we don't want putrefaction or fermentation in the digestive tract. So yeah, don't be scared of fruit. Fruit is there. Fruit can literally fix, I don't want to say can fix every health concern that we have, because some people need deeper levels of detox that sometimes fruit doesn't give us. So we go to fasting, but fruit can fix so many problems.
Okay, good. Now we got quite a long post here in the chat from Milos Stepanovic. So maybe you could, Milos, maybe you could just unmute yourself and just tell about your situation.
Hi, people.
Hello.
Hey, Milos.
My English isn't so perfect because I'm from Serbia and I, for 5 years, didn't speak with anyone on English. So please, I really wanna write, and if someone could, read that. I understand almost everything with our guest.
Okay, then okay,
I
no
can
problem.
read your question if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want, Milos.
Eric, let me read it. Eric, excuse me, let me read it, please. But you're not going to see my camera, please.
Okay.
Do you allow me to go on?
Sure, sure.
Well, what our speaker think about my situation? I have interstitial cystitis, prostatitis, cystitis, and prostatitis. Some inflammation in my kidneys. Pains in kidneys started 3 months ago. I'm raw vegan for 7 months. This morning, I finished with my first long dry fast of about 5 days. Before that, I did 40 days juice fasting. But all the time on juicing and on dry fast, I have strong pain in the kidneys, the biggest. Strong pains in the kidney during those juicing and fasting. On dry fast, that pain was worsened. Also, my filtration was bad. Now is a little better, but not enough good. I saw my dry fast so much mucus and urine. But now when I finished the dry fast, filtration is the same bad. My 5-day dry fast didn't help me with my pains. would you say something about this, Sinclair? And good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. I was late to come in the meeting. Thank you, Sinclair, for coming in.
Yeah. Hey, Frederick. Hey, man. Okay, so firstly, look at all the things that, or two of the things you've listed, cystitis and prostatitis. We talked earlier about itis meaning inflammation. Inflammation comes from one side of chemistry, the acidic side, and you're experiencing inflammation in the prostate and the bladder. So it's location and it's chemistry. The pain that you're feeling in the kidneys, you know, when you dry fast, your kidneys are processing a lot of acidic chemistry and you're seeing a lot of it come out, which is fantastic. But if you have weak lymph nodes, the job of the lymph node is to break down a lot of this chemistry and break down a lot of this acidic chemistry and increase its pH. So by the time it gets to the kidneys, it's not so acidic. But you might have a weakness in that. You might be, I mean, you are, it sounds like, dealing with a lot of acidic chemistry, and the kidneys are, you're experiencing kidney pain. This is, I don't think this is necessarily an issue because you're eliminating very well, but you might want to go a little bit slower if it is too intense. You might not want to dry fast quite intensely at the moment, and you might want to go back to just hydrating with fruits. That's what you should be doing when you're not dry fasting anyway. You should really be focusing on hydrating fruits like oranges if they're not too intense, and I wouldn't be juicing them. If you've got that level of kidney weakness, the only way you can juice fast is if you drink a very little amount of juice. And I mean, like, if you took all the oranges and fruit that you were going to eat on that day and you juiced it, you'd be very lucky if you got more than 2 liters. But most people on a juice fast, they don't think that way. So they're like more and more and more. And, you know, we just consume way too much and it overworks the kidneys a lot. So I would go back to just eating the fruit in your case, and maybe just doing some shorter dry fasts. But it sounds like that dry fast was really beneficial. It's normal for you after a dry fast, when you start hydrating again, the kidneys they're not going to filter the same way, because the only reason they filtered that much is because you were giving them that deep level of rest. As soon as you start hydrating again, the kidneys are going to start to have to go back to work, and you know, they're not fully regenerated after 5 days of dry fasting. So that kidney filtration is going to slow down a little bit. So you just got to go back to, you know, being mindful, not overdoing it, eating the fruit, just being mindful of how much hydration you take in. It sounds to me like you're on a really good path. I would say you're doing some really good things, and you would have experienced a lot of healing. It's just that right now your kidneys are going through a deep level of healing. So the pain that you feel, all of your other symptoms, you really can't expect to see any improvement there until you can get the kidneys to open up and get that lymphatic system moving, and everything that's around the kidneys. You know, you imagine where your kidneys are around that hip area, just above the hips, around the lumbar spine. Everything that's closest to the kidneys will heal first, because that's the doorway. So adrenal glands sit right on the kidneys, and it's for a reason, because they're so important, and they're one of the things that will regenerate first. And they need to regenerate in order for kidneys to filter, because they control the kidneys. So everything around the kidneys, your bladder's not too far away, your pancreas isn't too far away. Give it time. You'll see improvements. You might already see improvements in your blood work if you get your PSAs tested. But just give it time. You're on the right path. Just keep thinking back to what you're not doing when you're fasting. Get away from proteins, get away from high inflammatory foods, get away from foods that drain your digestive tract, that aren't hydrating. Stay on fruits. Keep incorporating short dry fasts. It's all about kidney filtration. Clean the digestive tract, get the kidneys filtering. I think I answered all that.
Yeah. Yes, one question more, shortly question about tea from Chanca Piedra. What do you mean? Good support for kidneys? Do you hear for that tea?
What's the tea called?
The name of tea is Chanca Piedra. Stone breaker.
A kidney stone breaker.
Yes, that is a translation of the original name. So I just want to know, did you ever heard for that?
I've never heard of it actually. I've never tried it. So, you know, if you want to break up kidney stones, I'm sure there are really good herbs and teas you can use. There's also fruits, you know, grapes, fantastic. Oranges, fantastic. Dandelion tea, fantastic. You know, use the chemistry from fruits, use fasting. And then if you want to use teas as well and herbs, you can definitely do that.
Okay, thank you so much, Sinclair.
No worries.
Good, Sinclair. And then we have a question from Vanessa. She says, how can someone with high blood sugar move to a fruitarian diet? Which organ or organs of the body need more support in this case?
Okay, well, let's just look at why you would have high blood sugar, right? Anytime you have any kind of health concern, you want to look at what is the cause. High blood sugar is type 2 anyway, is a result of adrenal weakness. Adrenals are responsible for producing steroids that metabolize sugars, help us digest and break down sugars. And then also a high fat diet is going to create a lipid coating in the bloodstream. So the more lipids, fats that you have in the blood, the more insulin resistant you're going to be. So you get rid of the fats and then you strengthen the adrenals. And the best thing for that is fruits, because fruits have a very, very low amount. They still have fats, by the way, just a very low amount. And they will clean the bloodstream. And they will strengthen and energize and regenerate the adrenals. So best thing for a type 2 diabetic is go on fruits. At the very least, go on a raw plant-based diet, no low in fat, low in nuts, low in seeds. And even a type 1 can go on all fruit, but they just have to be very, very conscious and mindful of checking their bloods and going very slowly, because the bloods can spike. And, you know, they need to make sure that they might need support from herbs. And, you know, so the type 1s need to be very more cautious and probably done with a guide. Type 2s, yeah, every type 2 I've ever worked with, straight on the fruits, and never had a problem with a type 2. Blood sugars always come back down.
Very interesting. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions? Okay, Sinclair. So then I think that we will proceed to our next subject, which is how to detox the harmful effect of the vaccine.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and it's really a problem now in the world. Lots of people got those strange things inside their bodies.
Yeah.
Lots of people experience adverse side effects. So, and I know because I watched your video with this girl, and it was really, really impressive. And so have you had lots of clients coming to you after getting those jabs?
I've coached 2 people through who have had vaccine injuries. They both had very similar vaccine injuries. So there's that young girl. She had the jab, and then the very next day couldn't walk. And I worked with her 3 months later. And all she did was eat well. We basically transitioned her from a cooked diet. I think she was still eating a little bit of meat, but basically like a pretty standard diet, to a combination of raw fruits, raw vegetables, and some cooked vegetables. And she did that for about a week or 2. And then we got her into all fruits. And once she got into all fruits, it was like every single week, she just got better and better and better.
Wow.
And to the point where when we started, she was still relying on a walker. And by the time we finished, which was within 8 weeks, she sent me a video of her running.
Wow.
So she made a very, I was actually pretty shocked at how quickly she recovered, but and because she didn't really do any fasting, like she did maybe 3 days of juice. And it was just because she was doing so well. I just said, if you want to, like, let's try it. I'd love to, you know, for you to have that experience. And she did, and she loved it. But she went back to fruits afterwards. Fruits are what really got her to that stage where she could walk and run again. But if I go one step deeper than that, it's not just the fruits, it's that elimination, because the reason she had the problem in the first place is because the chemistry that was brought into her body by that jab is weakening to the nervous system. So there are neurotoxins in these. I'm just mindful of how I'm referring to them, because I know it'll probably.
Yeah. I know this. Yeah. So we understand. Okay.
Yeah. So these shots have neurotoxins in them, and the reason why some people are being affected by them and some aren't is because some of us have pre-existing neurological weaknesses. We've got weakened nervous systems, weakened adrenal glands, and this is because of genetics from mum and dad that's been passed down generation to generation, and then because of our own diet and lifestyle. So if you go into this with a pre-existing weakness, and then the chemistry that you bring in through this shot has neurological weakness as well, or neurotoxins as well, enough to push you over your threshold, you're going to become symptomatic. If you weaken your nervous system enough, you'll experience symptoms like seizures and spasms, and you'll lose the use of your legs or your arms. Your muscles will weaken. All of it comes back to what is the state of your weakness going into this whole thing. So the answer is, how do we get that chemistry out of the body as quickly as possible? And there's only one way that I know that our body can get rid of any kind of unwanted foreign chemistry, and that's through detoxification. So that brings us back to, well, what are our tools? The different levels we've all talked about. You know, you've got fruits and raw foods, you've got juicing, water, and dry fasting. So it just depends on, you know, some people have to get it, right? They've got to get the shot. I've had tons of clients who are just like, I don't have a choice. I'm like, all right, no judgment. Let's get you in the strongest possible situation we can. And we did that with fasting. We did it with fruits, and I've had clients who had zero problems whatsoever. But then I've had clients who did have problems. You know, they got the shot and they did feel it. They had pain, they had fatigue. So, you know, it just came down to where they were at going into that experience. And we just did our absolute best to prepare them, and our absolute best afterwards to clear all that chemistry out.
Wow, amazing. Guys, do you have any more questions?
I have a question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Go for it.
Sure.
So I'm currently on like the master cleanse. So that's like the lemonade with fresh lemon, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. Yep. I do that one usually for about 2 to 3 weeks. I'm just like, I love fasting. My only concern is like, I've been prone to headaches my entire life. So I find that a lot of the times when I'm trying to start a fast or a cleanse, I experience a lot of headaches. Do you have any suggestions or any ways to like avoid the headaches?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so the headaches are coming largely from the digestive tract. So if you're constipated or you're holding on to a lot of inflammation, particularly in the transverse colon is the portion of the large colon that reflexes or is directly linked to the head and the brain. So if that's inflamed and constipated, then you're really going to want to clean that out first, spend some time doing some colon cleansing, and then go into a fast. And yeah, you wouldn't ordinarily have any problems in a fast unless there's some form of like digestive constipation.
So would you suggest almost doing like, I prefer to go and get hydrotherapy done instead of just at home enemas, but doing that before the cleanses would,
it's
and
great.
then during as well?
Yeah. You could do one, you could do like a week leading into it. You could do like 1 or 2 or even 3, space them out over the week. I would also recommend just doing all fruits if you're going to go into a water fast, hydrating watery fruits, and just mono mealing. So just like maybe one day you just eat oranges, or the whole week you do oranges, or one day oranges, next day papaya, next day mango, that kind of thing. And
Okay.
you know, just with the mindset of like, all right, I've got a fast coming up, I really need to clean the digestive tract. And you'll notice a really big difference. Like the cleaner you go into a water fast or any fast, the easier the fast is, because it's not fasting that's difficult. It's the amount of waste that our body has to process and eliminate that makes it difficult. Some people fast and they feel amazing. They go to work, they exercise, they feel really, really great and energized. Other people feel really just fatigued and like they feel like shit because they're full of shit. So, you know, you get all that stuff out, fasting becomes quite peaceful and like productive. You know, I'll fast now for the day and I'll get like so much work done. I feel really clear, you know, I feel good. But it wasn't always like that. I used to feel really lethargic and just feel, you know, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to get out of bed.
Yeah, I find the first 2 days are typically the hardest, and after that, energy is up, clarity is up, everything else is up, and it's easy to continue because you're like, wow, I feel so much better. But it's just usually those first 2 days that are always, I'm prone to headaches, especially on those first 2 days. So if I just do like the hydrotherapy beforehand and mono fruits, I'll start trying that. And then just in regards to the master cleanse, because I mean, that's just a simple one that I've done for years. Do you have any, you know, thoughts on it? Because it's the lemon with the maple syrup and the cayenne pepper, or?
Yeah, definitely. Well, so the maple syrup's to flavor it. The lemon juice is really astringent, which is fantastic for the lymphatic system. It's really great at breaking down fat and breaking up plaque. So lemon juice, the more you can handle, the better, but just be careful because everybody has a bit of a limit and it can really push you a little too far and it can be quite uncomfortable. So, and the cayenne I know is great for the circulatory system and like arterial function. But I think the main thing with it is you're giving the body a deep level of rest when you go into any kind of cleanse like that. So, you know, just that abstinence from food and that digestive rest you're going to get, and just drinking only what you need. You know, I always bring it back to that. Just drink, just hydrate when you need, stay comfortable, don't overdo it. You know, that level of rest is where you're going to get that healing. And we know that because dry fasting is the deepest level of healing that we can possibly find. And it's no water at all. So when we do decide to drink water when we're fasting, the drier we can stay, the better. But then we do need to make sure that we've prepared the body properly, that we're mentally prepared for the challenge. You know, there's other things that we need to consider as well, but not lean on the fluid as like, this is what's going to heal me, because it's not. It's actually going to overwork the kidneys, overwork the adrenal glands, and less is more if your body's ready for that.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Cool. No worries.
Good. Any more questions, guys? So look, we're getting close to 2 hours.
Ari.
Yeah.
Ari's had a question for a while. Yeah. How you doing, Ari?
Hello.
Hi. I have no questions. I just wanted to say that whatever you said, Sinclair, is absolutely 100% with me. Like, I live since 1998 like that, and I love it.
Awesome.
I'm so happy that young generation is coming forward in the same stuff. Keep going.
Appreciate it.
No supplements, no toxic herbs, just steady, easygoing route. Oh, I love you. Thank you.
Amazing,
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aranka. Thank you so much.
One thing I've learned, Ari, it's that like our body has everything it needs. It's incredibly intelligent, and all we need to learn to do is how to support it. And it's get back to nature, get back to what's simple. Fasting is completely natural. People are like, no, it's extreme. And it's like, of course it looks extreme, but it's because most people have never heard about it before. And on paper, it looks extreme. Or you see someone go through a fast and all the challenges they face and the physical transformation. And yes, it does look extreme, but it's because we're in extreme stages of poor health. That's why fasting.
Decomposition. The whole society is decomposing. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And of course, that's why all these little viruses that normally come around the earth every time, That's why people are so scared of it, because they have no strength to fight it. I'm on day 21.
of a fast.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's water, maximum 2 liters of water. That's all.
Good on you. Good
Feeling
on you.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm happy
Thank
you
you for
joined.
carrying the torch. Thank you.
Yes. No worries.
Amazing.
There's a question.
Yes.
From
Offa.
Is this the Offa Fanganuku? I used to play footy with this guy, I think.
Wow.
He's asking
Hey,
about.
sinners.
Hey, how are you, Offa? How are you, mate? What's happening?
Yeah, not bad, mate. How are you, mate?
See ya. I'm good, man. I'm good. Do you have a question?
No, mate, I've been I think in like 5-6 years I've been doing fastings of different forms. Last week I did a 7-day water fast. Still learning about the space, and yeah, mostly targeted towards the healing part, but I feel like as I'm learning and educating myself about health and getting away from all the traffic that we get in the health industry, and obviously the lifestyle that we kind of live as footy players, elite football players, it's all mixed, and it's all for shorter results, rather look for the long-term thing. But along my journey I've come across attacks of gout, and I know there's an imbalance in the system there that I'm kind of like trying to address the way of my lifestyle and how things go. But I was just wondering if you've experienced anybody with gout, and what's happening there. What do you feel that's overriding in our system that gives us these inflammation bursts?
Yeah, for sure. Is it in the lower body, the legs, knees, ankles?
Yeah, I mostly get an ankle. Yeah.
So this all comes back to lymphatics, man, because when your lymphatic system isn't moving, and remember the kidneys control that whole lymphatic fluid. I probably didn't explain it exactly as I normally do, but let me just, if you imagine your whole body is it's made up of cells and 2 fluids. You've got blood and you've got lymph. So the blood feeds the cell and the lymph cleans the cell. And like you pop a pimple, you get a little bit of blood, a little bit of lymph. In fact, you get about 4 times as much lymph as you do blood, because you got about 4 times as much lymphatic fluid. So you got tons of this stuff, right? It has such an important job to do. But if it's not moving, right? If your ankles, your feet, all that fluid's not moving, your cells are just constantly going to work, producing waste, and none of it's being cleaned. So then what will happen is your body will retain fluid as a means to buffer that waste. Fluid retention is always a way the body protects itself from the chemistry that's acidic and harmful. So it's all about go ahead.
Oh, so how do you promote that movement? Is it through like actual moving, or is it through what we put in?
Yeah,
push out?
It's getting your kidneys filtering.
Yeah,
and because movement produces waste as well. Movement produces lactic acid, and if you're moving a lot and your kidneys are weak and your lymphatic system's not moving, the gout will just get worse.
Yeah.
So what you want to actually do is focus on kidneys. You want to focus on hydration from fruits, and you want to really just be mindful of the amount of hydration. So next time you do a cleanse, a fast of any kind, I would do it on fruit, and I would do it on oranges. I would eat the oranges. I wouldn't juice them. And you'll actually have a way, like that's way easier than doing a water fast, by the way. And eat the oranges, do like little small mono meals throughout the day. You might only have like 20 oranges throughout the day. You might have more. You just eat what you need. But if you took
I might jam out the the competitiveness in us at footy players. We like to go the hard one, so I might go the dry fast. Just I've learned about this on this session. About the dry fast. I usually do dry fasting when I do religious fasts. And I didn't really think about it in the health kind of sense, where it's giving everything a rest, which makes a lot of sense. So man, appreciate the session, mate, and learning heaps.
Yeah, dude, no worries, man. Anytime. Like dry fasting will be amazing for you, and like probably where I think you'll want to put a bit more energy into is the prep, because the prep is how you'll really get the body ready for that dry fast.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, let's talk. Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
If you want.
No worries.
Yeah. Cool, man. Good to see
Okay,
you,
man.
man.
Good to see you too, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Bye.
See ya.
Good, Sinclair. Meanwhile, we received another question here in the chat. Do you believe in fruit combining?
Yeah, definitely. Like, again, I'm one of those people who always looks to nature, and it's like, how many animals in nature do you see go and collect a bunch of different foods and sit down and like have a banquet and a feast? Most animals mono eat, and or they'll just sit in front of like a bush, a berry bush, a tree, whatever, and they'll just eat one fruit. So keeping it simple is always the best option. And just try it, because it really does make a difference. Even if you're eating meat, I believe that's why people, when they go carnivore, they feel better, because they're not bringing in all this different chemistry. They're just sticking to one, and they'll go into ketosis and their body will feel pretty good. It's not the answer to our healing, but you can definitely feel better. In terms of combining fruits and vegetables, yeah, like keep it simple. I never eat fruit and vegetables together. If I have a salad, I am just doing veggies, and I'm even keeping it simple, and I'm just doing like cucumber and like capsicum and lots of fresh herbs, and I'll make it tasty, but I keep it simple. I definitely don't combine fruits, like I said, with vegetables. I don't have fruits after vegetables, because fruits digest very quickly. Vegetables digest a lot slower. So if you eat fruits after veggies, your fruit is not going to pass through the body as quickly as it needs to, and it's going to ferment. And fermentation comes with a whole bunch of other problems. So yeah, proteins, I don't combine starches and proteins. I don't really eat proteins. But if you're going to eat potatoes, don't do it with meat. Eat the meat first. No, eat the potatoes first, and then eat the meat after, because the meat will digest very slowly. If you want to go down that route, but I think that answers it. I think it's, yeah. I am mindful of that sort of stuff. It does matter.
Good.
Thank
good.
you.
No worries, Sunita.
Okay, Sinclair. So we're going to finish our meeting soon. Soon I'm going to ask you about different services that you provide, so that people might be interested. But I would love, because this particular group is built around fasting once a week for 24 hours. Some people take it to 36 hours. In your opinion, what would be the main benefits of this particular habit of just abstaining from food every week for 24 hours? In terms of cleansing, psychological benefits, etc.
Yeah, I think it's a great practice. It's a great habit to get into, whether you do it on juice or you do it on water or you do it on dry. They're all there available to you. If you're a newbie and you haven't done any of it, start with juice and then go to water, then go to dry. But that is a really fantastic practice and habit to get into, to give your body a physical rest from food, to give your nervous system a rest, your digestive system a rest. Anytime you miss a meal, even if it's just breakfast, your body is going to always benefit from that, because every bit of rest you give your body, it's going to use that opportunity to heal. I say this a lot, like your body's always trying to heal itself. It's never, if it's sick and it needs healing, it's always trying to heal. The only reason it can't is because we are getting in the way every single day with our diet and our lifestyle. Wow. So when you get out of the way, even for just a meal, you're going to start to benefit. If you get out of the way for 36 hours, once a week, you're going to benefit. One meal a day is a fantastic way to eat. And there's many cultures in the past that have eaten that way. And they were long-lived, and they wrote about the health benefits of this lifestyle. And it's not easy to live that way, but it's very, very beneficial, even just do it for a day, So I'm a big believer in it. But if we need deep levels of healing and regeneration, that might not be enough. So we need to understand that if we need deeper levels of healing and regeneration and detoxification, then we need to go to the fruits, we need to go to the fasting. And then when we're happy with the level of healing that we have, we're happy with our energy, where we no longer feel like we need that, then we start to go back to a lifestyle that has more balance. And that's where we need to just be mindful, like, you know, are we overdoing it with the food? Are we overdoing it with our lifestyle? Our body will tell us always.
Okay. Sinclair, and I also wanted to ask you about your experience in terms of sleep. What were your sleep patterns while fasting, and in general on this high raw food lifestyle?
Yeah. Fasting sleep was never great, to be honest. Like, generally, if you're going through a really deep level of detox, you're not going to have a restful sleep, because there's just a lot going on internally. There's a lot of chemistry being moved. There's parasites and fungus and plaque and all sorts of stuff. So generally, to find that level of deep rest and during sleep is difficult. But the cleaner I became, the deeper I slept, but the less I slept. So and when I eat fruit, I need way less sleep.
Really?
Yeah. And if I don't sleep well, like I didn't sleep well. Oh, I slept well last night. The night before, I didn't sleep well at all. But I felt fantastic all day, because I dry fasted until about 2 p.m. Broke my fast with some oranges, and then I had some papaya for dinner. So the food I was bringing in has such a high level of energy that even though I didn't recharge very well, it didn't matter. My energy was really high throughout the day.
So how long do you sleep on average nowadays?
Like 6 hours maximum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, guys, we're going to wrap it up soon. So Sinclair, please tell us about different services that you provide and how people could contact you. And also, if you want, you can mention your documentary that you're making now.
Yeah. Well, I guess anybody who is looking for help and if would like my help, I'll just pop this in the chat. I have a number of different ways that I help people. It's all there on my website. Just click Work with Sinclair. And, you know, I coach people one-on-one. I do 1 hour consults. I coach, obviously, nutrition. I coach fasting. What I do basically is just teach people how to heal themselves. It's like, I don't heal anybody. I've never claimed I heal anybody. It's like, I like to teach people simply just how to use all these tools to heal themselves. And then they do, they'll go and fast, and they'll go and eat fruits and all these things, and they'll heal. So it's really just guiding people through that process, because when you do go on this path, and most of you guys will know it because a lot of you are doing it already, there's so much information, you know, there's a lot of doubt and a lot of fear that comes up. So having someone to really guide you and support you and reassure you and give you like the right path as well, so you actually do heal, is really helpful. And eventually you get to the point where you just don't need anybody really, unless you want to go deeper. There's something else that you haven't tried and you want to try, like, you know, we will all benefit from having a mentor at some stage. But yeah, if you go to my website, it's really simple. I'll just quickly show you. Go Work with Sinclair. You know, I've got the consult, I've got coaching, and then I've got a tribe that I've created. The tribe, I definitely recommend for anybody who's looking to be a part of a community, who wants to have like the recipes there, have access to me. I'll just bring it up. Tribe login. Hopefully, yeah, here we go. So yeah, this is basically a tribe space, online space. It's got all the recipes, cooked, raw. Yeah, all the meals that I created here that are conscious, healing, detoxifying. There's a 21-day program that I've, for anybody who's new to all of this, how to transition to these foods.
Wow.
And then there's a community space where I interact with you, you guys post, and you know, so you get that level of support that's really important. And then I have live calls every week. So Q&As like this every week, and then a masterclass once a month. So, and then obviously you can learn about dry fasting, water fasting, juice fasting, all the different tools that we've talked about. So I actually just launched this a week ago, to be honest, because I've been working on it for quite a while. But it really is a great place for people if they're looking for that level of support. It's 99 Australian dollars a month. You might just come for a month. You might come for 3. It's I 25 bucks a week. I think it's a bit of a bargain to learn all this stuff. So yeah, those are the ways, guys. If you want to get in touch, follow my Instagram. I post there a lot as well, which is @fasting the healer within, and you can learn about the documentary and everything that my brother and I are putting out at the moment. He's got fitness programs. So yeah, come and say hello.
Yeah, wow, this is really cool. So we are going to put all the contact details below this video. Cool. And yeah, guys, just feel free to contact Sinclair and get help. Yeah, awesome. Sinclair, and I'm just curious about this documentary. So like, does it just depict your fast day by day, or what was the idea behind it? Just in a few words.
Yeah, it documents our whole fast. So you see like the ups and downs of fasting. There's a lot of experts in there that share wisdom on how to prepare and why we fast and why it's so beneficial. So it's a combination of the science and a really unique up close and personal look at my brother and I going through a fast together. We laugh, we cry. It's like we crack stupid jokes. Like it's got a bit of everything. But it's pretty cool. I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, so
we're going to normalize fasting, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to we're trying to make fasting accessible, because it's not for hippies and mountains and whatever people think they have these these ideas about. It's perfectly normal and natural. Fasting is just as natural as eating is. It's just we're so disconnected.
Sure. And you told me that this video is going to be out very soon, right?
Yeah, we're hoping to have it released by, it's going to be finished by the latest May 1st, and then hopefully released very shortly after. So I'll let you know very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Sinclair. So thank you so much for this meeting. Thanks, it was incredible. Yeah.
Thank you.
So much knowledge.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
for coming, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, pleasure. It's a pleasure. I just want to close by saying, you know, I know what it's like to be in pain, to suffer, to feel hopeless, all of that, which I know all of you guys might have experienced at some point. And your body is incredibly intelligent. It knows how to heal. So just all you need to do is learn how to support it. And this is what it's all about. Fasting, foods, mindset, you know, it's all there for you. When you learn the tools, you'll heal yourself.
Can I just say something, Sinclair? I'd just like to say that I'm on the program with Sinclair. I've just started, I'm a newbie. And the support that Sinclair gives is just amazing. And I'd just like to say to everyone, he's been so supportive of all my questions of fasting and everything. And he's just there for you. And I can't recommend him enough.
Yeah. We can really feel it, you know, it's really touching, you know. I can really feel that you're coming from the place of giving, you know, place of support, place of caring, and it's also nice. Like it is quite easy to feel even through the internet, even through Zoom, you know.
Well, because I've been through it, you know. I'm not speaking from a book. I'm speaking from all my experience. You know, I've felt like I've been to some dark places. And I've discovered the light, and it's like that's why I'd never thought I was going to be a health coach, but I get a lot out of sharing this, because I know how impactful it is. It's transformative.
Amazing. And it's also amazing that you are giving people different options, like they can go on this tribe, they can go on personal coaching. Amazing. So guys,
what I like about Sinclair as well is he allows you to choose what path you want to go, whether you want to go the fast path like I've chosen, or whether you want to go a bit slower if you're not able to.
I'll give you a little bit of a nudge though. You'll get a bit of a nudge.
Yeah, I know. I got the hint today that you wanted me to do a longer one, a longer fast.
But no, you guys are in the driver's seat always.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, guys, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.